there, and welcome to the JPT sub. Today, we're going to be taking a look at installing DCC in this Dapol Class 59 locomotive. The Class 59 is a EMD product built for export to the UK and was the predecessor to the widely successful Class 66 export locomotive that EMD built. Right off the bat, one of the things I want to point out is that the Dapol puts a really nice instruction book in with their locomotives. Graham Farish also has a really nice one that comes with their British stuff. Scale Trains has done some really nice stuff that comes with their US stuff, but I have to admit I'm really pleased with the with this booklet and the instructions here. Tells me, tells a little bit about the locomotive. So we flip through it here. It shows there's a lot of accessory parts that I'm not going to put on this locomotive. Talks about removing the body. There's a lot of switches in here for lighting that you can adjust. Also about fitting the decoder and some of the programming that needs to be done. So we'll do that. Then goes on to talk about ones that are factory equipped with DCC and some of the CV settings, so you could mimic those if you want. Really nice booklet. If anybody really wants to see more of it, let me know in the comments. I could probably do just a video showing their booklet. So here we go. We're going to start by taking the body off of this locomotive. We'll see how that's going to go. It looks like it's like any other one. You're going to have to slide the shell open and put something in there to slide it off. I'm going to find some parts to kind of put in there so I can do this and try and do it without damaging it. So we're going to set this down here. So I'm going to pause, move the camera around a little bit, and then we're going to come back and take the shell off of this locomotive. Okay, so here we go. I really don't, ideally, I've seen a lot of people do this, is guitar picks are actually the ideal thing for this. I don't particularly happen to have any, so we're going to use some toothpicks, see how this works out for us. Probably not the best way to do this, but hope y'all don't mind me being a little quiet there while I'm doing this. I'm just probably don't want to hear me ramble. All right, there we go. Toothpicks went everywhere, but we got it open. All right, so first things first is going to be we're going to pull this blanker plate out right here. I'm pretty sure that's the blanker plate. Yes. Pops right out there. So these are the switches right here that it talks about in the instruction manual. I don't know how well that really shows, but I'm going to read real quick about how those are supposed to be set if I need to make any changes before we put in the decoder. And then we'll look at what decoder we're going to put into this. All right, after reviewing the instructions here, it doesn't look like I really need to do anything with adjusting these switches here. So we'll see. Should I need to change them in the future, though, you can pull this plate off and access them without actually taking the whole body off the locomotive. We're going to set that aside here. So the decoder that we're going to use is a ESU 59828 Loc Pilot 5 micro DCC decoder. By the way, just I learned the hard way that is if this decoder has an FX in the name, that it's function only and won't run a locomotive. So by the way, if anybody has any tips on good things to use the function decoder for, let me know. But yeah, this is our decoder. And the ESU, pretty much standard. Looks like they pretty much standardized their packaging. It's huge. Unlike the fantastic instructions that come with the these models, the decoder comes with this little sheet of paper referring us to the website. Woohoo! Yeah, so you guys can see it there and check it out if you want to. Since I'm not doing a sound decoder, there's really not much else I really need to do with this other than to just program an address in it once I get it installed. So we're going to pull our decoder out here. We'll put it next to our blanker plate there. Not much difference in the size. It's a little bit, our ESU decoder's a little bit smaller. They've got these little factory stickers on the back that I don't really know why they put those on the decoder unless it's something to help it keep something from getting damaged when you're when it ships. But it should only plug in one way. And my big hands can do this. Should just snap right down in there. And it looks like it did just fine. Didn't pinch any wires. I'm going to, while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to put this decoder or the blanker plate back in here, and then we'll label this box and put it back on the shelf where I have all my blanker plates from locomotives that I've done DCC installs in. It's always, if you guys do this, I always recommend you keep these in case you have any issues. If your decoder burns out, you want to sell the locomotive, you want to go run it on a DC layout again, whatever, you've got the part to do it with, and so just something I do. I recommend it. I'm not saying you have to do that. Nobody's required to do any of that, right? But I can get the be in the box. Really not getting along there. Anyway, so there we go. It's back in the box. All right, so we're going to, before I put the shell back on it, I'm going to put this up on the program track and make sure the decoder is reading 3, and then we'll try it over on the layout before we put the shell back on. Okay, here we go. We got it on the program track, and the last unit I programmed was my class 158, and that's still the address that's showing in here. So let's turn this a little bit this way so you guys can see the whole locomotive and this at the same time. So we'll do our read track, see if we get a decoder to read. All right, we got a 3 back, so that's a good sign. That means at least the decoder's in the socket the right way. So let's put it over on the layout here and make sure it runs before we put the body back on it and program an address into it. All right, here we are. Got the lights came on as soon as I set it down on the track here, and let's see if she'll respond to the throttle here. Ooh, so far so good. All right, so she's running. Let's bring her in here nice and slow. Now, this unit's got some great slow speed to it, doesn't it? I think that's where that's the crawl that it has. All right, so let's, I'm going to program an address in it and put the body back on it, and we'll take a look at it running around the layout. So here we are back at the program track, and we've still got our decoder set from where the 3. This locomotive is numbered 59206. Since it's 5 digits and the decoder only hold 4, on the ones where it's been 5, I've been doing the first 2 numbers. So 59 and 06. Last 2 numbers. First 2, last 2. That kind of helps me remember that. So, all right, and then we got it set, program it. And it's doing its thing. There we go. Let's hit the read track one more time to make sure it returns the same number again. I've only had this thing fail on me one time, and I think that was something I did, not the programmer. So, problem between the chair and the keyboard, I guess you could call it. All right, so that looks good. All right, let's put the shell back on her. Okay, by the way, I did find all 4 of my toothpicks that went flying when I popped the shell off of this thing. Doesn't look like, well, actually it's very easy to tell which way the shell goes because this has to go over where the switches are, right? So there we go. See if the thing will just, should just click right back in place. All right, there we go. Well, one thing I noticed in the instructions is it says it recommends it's better to take this out with the body off. So if I do need to access it, maybe I will take the body back off again. But there you have it. This is a Dapol their diesel locomotives are really nice. Seen some their steam locomotives look really good, but I've seen some questionable comments about the drivetrains on them, so I don't know. But this one I've been terribly happy with, so we're going to put it back on the layout and give it a little run time under DCC. this wraps up our look at putting the DCC chip in this Dapol Class 59 locomotive. She's a great runner, and especially with the DCC. The only thing left I have to do is figure out how to program the headlights here. I'd like to thank y'all for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure and click the like button. If you haven't subscribed already, do so. More great content like this is coming. And we'll see you next time right here on the JPT Sub.